Okay, picture the scene. It's Sunday night. The weekend was, actually pretty great.
Hmm.
Maybe you went to the park, had a movie night, everyone was happy. You're just starting to mentally prep for the week ahead. And then suddenly, the mood in the house just shifts. It's palpable.
You can feel it in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your child, who was literally doing cartwheels in the backyard 20 minutes ago, is now doubled over on the couch. Their stomach hurts, or their head hurts. The tears start.
The dreaded Sunday scaries.
Mm.
Or, if you're really unlucky, the full-blown Monday morning meltdown.
Precisely. It just sets the tone for the whole week. But here's the paradox, and this is the specific misery we are diving into today.
Right.
Let's say you manage to get them at the door. Maybe there are tears. Maybe it involves a negotiation that would impress the UN, but they get to school.
Mhm.
Later, you brace yourself to talk to the teacher. You're expecting a disaster report.
You're ready to apologize.
Yes. And the teacher looks at you completely confused and says, they were wonderful, helpful, quiet, got all their work done, an absolute angel.
And you are left standing in the hallway wondering if your 6-year-old is gaslighting you.
Exactly. You feel like you're losing your mind. Why does this child transform into a monster the second they walk through the front door, but they're a model citizen for everyone else?
It feels personal.
It feels like they're saving their worst behavior just for you.
So that is the mystery we're unpacking today. We're doing a deep dive into a guide by Nicole from Versayle-Digital titled When School Anxiety Shows Up at Home. And I think we should set the stage here. This is not a guide about discipline. If you are looking for, like, a sticker chart to fix bad behavior, this isn't it.
Okay.
This is about biology, neuroscience, and safety. The core argument here is that your child isn't acting out to manipulate you.
Yeah.
They are falling apart because of a biological process that explains why the meltdown happens exactly where it should.
That is a huge claim because in the moment, it definitely feels like manipulation.
It absolutely does.
So let's start with that disconnect. The Jekyll and Hyde situation. The guide uses a specific term for what the child is doing at school, masking.
Right? Masking.
Now, usually when I hear masking, I think of neurodivergence like ADHD or autism, but it seems like they're applying it more broadly here to anxiety.
It is broader here, yeah.
Yeah.
In this context, think of masking as white knuckling.
Knuckling. Okay.
For an anxious child, the school environment is a minefield of unpredictability. It isn't just about math. It's loud, the social rules are complex, there are academic demands, transitions.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Their internal alarm system is just buzzing all day.
Uh-huh.
But because anxiety often comes with this desperate need to fit in or a fear of getting in trouble, they suppress it. They hold it all together.
It reminds me of that analogy of a duck on water,
Yeah.
calm on the surface, but underneath, the feet are just paddling like fury.
That is a great image. The guide actually uses another one that I think captures the physical toll even better. Holding a beach ball underwater.
Oh, I hate doing that. It's surprisingly hard.
It is. It's basic physics. You can hold a beach ball underwater for a while. It takes focus, muscle tension, constant pressure, but you cannot do it forever.
Right.
Eventually, your arms get tired. Your focus slicks. So the school bell rings, they get off the bus, they walk through your front door. And what happens?
You let go of the ball.
Splash. Massive splash. Water everywhere. This is what the guide calls after-school restraint collapse. It's a specific phenomenon.
I've never heard that term before, but it makes perfect sense.
They have physically and emotionally depleted every ounce of their resources, keeping it together. When they see you, the person they trust most, their brain registers safety. It says, okay, the performance is over. I can stop pretending.
That is such a heavy reframe for a parent because when they're screaming at you or throwing their backpack, it feels like an attack.
Of course.
But you're saying it's actually, what, intimacy?
In a messy, chaotic, loud way, yes. It is a sign of attachment security. If they didn't feel safe with you, they would keep the mask on. They saved their collapse for the safe harbor. Now, I want to be clear, that doesn't make it pleasant to live with. It is exhausting for the parent.
Yeah.
But it changes how you interpret the behavior. They aren't trying to give you a hard time. They're having a hard time, and you're the only place they can show it.
Okay. I can accept that the afternoon meltdown is a compliment in disguise, even if I don't love it. But I want to pivot to the physical side of this because this is where I think parents get really, really skeptical.
The stomach ache.
The Sunday night stomach ache or the Monday morning headache. It feels so convenient, right? My tummy hurts right before it's time to leave. The guide takes a pretty hard stance on this.
It does. And this is crucial for parents to understand, to stop the power struggles. The child is not faking it. The pain is medically, physiologically real.
But how? If I let them stay home, the stomach ache vanishes by 10 a.m. They're eating cereal and watching cartoons. That looks like a scam.
It looks like a scam, but it's actually physiology. We have to look at the amygdala, the brain's little alarm system. When an anxious child thinks about school, the amygdala detects the threat. It triggers the fight or flight response. Now, biology 101. What does the body do during fight or flight?
Right, it pumps you up. Adrenaline gets you ready to run.
Exactly. But to do that, it has to prioritize. And digestion is a very energy-expensive process. If you're running from a tiger, you don't need to be digesting your breakfast.
In fact, it might slow you down.
It would. So the body diverts blood flow away from the stomach and intestines and pumps it into the large muscle groups in the legs and arms.
So the stomach actually shuts down.
It goes into a dormant state, basically. Digestion slows or stops. Stomach acid changes. Gut motility gets erratic. That causes genuine cramping, nausea, and acute pain. It's not in their head, it's in their gut.
And the reason it goes away at 10 a.m.?
Is because if you decide to keep them home, the threat is removed, the amygdala stands down, the tiger is gone. Blood flow returns to the stomach, everything relaxes, and the pain subsides.
No, it's not that they were lying.
It's that the environment changed, so the biological response changed.
That is a critical distinction. I think we get so trapped in that, are you really sick? Interrogation. We take their temperature, look for a fever, and when we don't find one, we accuse them of lying.
And that interrogation just makes it worse. It adds shame and guilt to the anxiety, which, just keeps that fight or flight response active. The guide really emphasizes that anxiety is a whole body experience.
Right, not just a thought loop. Speaking of which, the guide talks a lot about uncertainty. I usually think of anxiety as fear. Fear of failing, fear of bullies. But this suggests it's more about just not knowing.
Yeah, the brain is basically a prediction machine. It traves patterns. It wants to know what's going to happen next. Anxiety at its core is often an intolerance of uncertainty. For these kids, not knowing feels dangerous.
Which is why transitions are the flashpoints.
Exactly. Going from home to school is a massive leap into the unknown. Will the bus be late? Who will I sit with? Will the teacher call on me? It's all the what ifs.
And the amygdala treats a what if the same way it treats a predator in the bushes.
Yep. Shoot first, ask questions later.
So let's talk about what we do with all this. Because our instinct as parents, and I am so guilty of this, is to fix it. We see our kids suffering, we want to soothe them. We use logic. We say, honey, you love school, you have fun, it's just second grade.
But the guide calls this the logic trap.
Why does reasoning fail so badly?
Because you're using the wrong tool for the job.
Yeah.
Imagine you are in a building and the fire alarm is blaring. It is deafening. You smell smoke. You're panicking. And someone walks up with a clipboard and tries to explain the sprinkler system's safety ratings.
I am not listening to the clipboard guy. I'm finding the exit. I might even punch the clipboard guy.
Exactly. You cannot process that data. When a child is in an anxiety spiral, their prefrontal cortex, the thinking, rational, logical part of the brain, is literally offline.
It's disconnected.
The emotional brain has hijacked the controls.
Yeah.
So when you try to use logic, you're talking to a part of the brain that has left the building. It just increases their frustration because they feel unheard.
So if logic is out, what about reassurance? You'll be fine. Don't worry. I promise it will be okay. That feels supportive.
That is the reassurance trap. And this one is so hard because it works in the short term.
It does feel like it works.
You say, you'll be fine, and the child calms down. But here's the problem. It creates a dependency. The child learns that the way to manage their worry is to get you to fix it. They don't learn to tolerate the uncertainty themselves. They outsource the regulation to you.
So it's a feedback loop. They need more and more reassurance just to get to baseline.
Correct. But the most dangerous loop, and the one the guide warns most strictly against, is the avoidance cycle.
This is where we just let them stay home because they're so upset.
Yes. And look, it is heartbreaking to watch your child suffer. No parent wants to push a crying child out the door. But we need to look at the neuroscience of avoidance.
Okay.
Here's the cycle. Anxiety triggers discomfort. You avoid the scary things, school. You get immediate relief. The brain releases dopamine. It goes, aha, that worked. Avoidance equals safety.
You are actually rewarding the anxiety with a chemical hit.
You're reinforcing the neural pathway. So the next day, the anxiety is not just the same, it's technically stronger.
Yep.
Because the brain is screaming, we established yesterday that staying home is the solution.
And they never get the data point that says, I can go to school, feel scared, and survive.
They lose the chance to build resilience.
That feels like a deadlock. We can't use logic, reassurance is a crutch, and letting them stay home wires the brain for more anxiety. So what is the alternative? The guide proposes something called the middle path.
The middle path is the sweet spot. It sits between authoritarian parenting, which is stop crying and get in the car.
Forcing them without empathy.
Right. And permissive parenting, which is, oh no, you're sad, let's stay home.
Rescuing them from every hard feeling.
Exactly. The middle path relies on two things happening at the same time: validation and confidence.
The magic word is A&D.
It is all about the A&D.
Yeah.
You validate the feeling. I can see you're feeling incredibly scared right now.
Yeah.
And you state the expectation. And I know you can do hard things.
So it sounds like, I know this feels overwhelming, and D, we're going to get in the car now.
Exactly. You are holding the container. You aren't dismissing the fear. You're acknowledging it's real. But you are not letting the fear drive the bus. You are saying you are scared, and that is okay. We go to school even when we are scared.
That reframes the goal. It isn't, I have to stop being scared to go to school.
No,
it's, I can be scared and still go.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That is the definition of courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of it.
To help with that, the guide suggests a tactic called externalizing. It sounded a bit quirky to me at first, treating anxiety like a separate character.
It's a classic evidence-based psychological technique. If a child says, I am anxious, the anxiety is part of their identity. It's who they are.
Okay.
If you call it the worry monster or the brain alarm, it becomes something happening to them.
It creates distance, like a mosquito buzzing around.
Right. So you stop asking, what are you worried about? And you start asking, what is the worry telling you right now? It allows the child to observe the thought without instantly believing it.
Oh, the worry is telling me I'm going to fail the test.
And then you can talk back to it. Well, the worry is usually wrong, isn't it? The worry is kind of a liar.
I love that. It gives them a sense of agency. Okay, let's get into the trenches, the practical stuff. The guide has a morning routine revamp because, let's be honest, 7 to 8 a.m. is where the battle is lost for most of us.
The enemy in the morning is decision fatigue. For an anxious brain, making decisions, even small ones like blue socks or red socks, it just drains the battery.
So we take the choices away.
We front load them. Everything happens the night before. Clothes laid out, lunch packed, backpack by the door. The morning should be for execution, not decision making. It needs to be on autopilot.
And the guide also mentioned time buffers. I am terrible at this. We are always rushing.
Rushing is kryptonite for anxiety. If you are rushing, you are physically signaling stress. Your voice goes up, your movements are jerky. The child's mirror neurons pick that up and just amplify it.
So if the routine takes 45 minutes, give them 60.
At least. A calm morning is a slow morning. You cannot help an anxious child if you are running around like a headless chicken.
Now here's one that surprised me. I usually try to pep talk my kids in the morning. It's going to be a great day, you've got gym class. But the guide says, don't do that.
No deep talks in the morning. The morning is not the time for processing feelings or problem solving. The brain is already on high alert.
So a big pep rally just adds cognitive load.
It is too much input. Keep the conversation light, factual, distracting. Talk about the dog, a video game, listen to an audiobook. Save the how are you feeling talks for a calm moment later.
Just run the race. Don't analyze the track while you're running.
Exactly. And for the actual separation, the drop-off, which is often the hardest part, the guide suggests using a bridging object.
This is such a sweet idea. Tell us about that.
It is lovely. A bridging object is a small, physical item that connects home and school. A smooth stone in their pocket, a tiny note in their lunchbox, maybe matching bracelets where you wear one and they wear one.
Like a friendship bracelet with your mom.
Yes, it's a tangible anchor. They feel adrift during the day. They can touch the object, and it bridges that gap of separation. It reminds them they're still connected to you.
Okay, so we survived the morning. Now the afternoon, that after-school restraint collapse. They walk in the door, grumpy, maybe crying. What is the biggest mistake parents make here?
Asking, how was school? The second they walk in.
Oh, I do that every single day. It is my opening line. How was your day?
Most of us do. But imagine you just finished the most stressful presentation of your career. You've been on for 8 hours. You walk in the door exhausted, and someone immediately gets in your face and asks, how did it go? Who did you talk to?
I would turn around and walk back out, or hide in the pantry.
You need a decompression zone. The guide suggests a period of low demands, Don't ask questions. Don't remind them about chores. Just offer a snack. Feeding the beast is important. Blood sugar matters. And be present.
So just sit near them.
Sit near them.
Yeah.
Read a book. Let their nervous system reset from red alert to safe mode before you try to engage.
I liked the sediment analogy the guide used.
Yeah, you want to let the sediment settle in the water glass before you try to drink from it. If you stir it up immediately with questions, you just get muddy water.
Give them 20 minutes of silence.
It makes a huge difference for the rest of the evening.
Stepping back for a moment, going through this guide, there's a recurring theme. It seems like the goal isn't really to fix the child. It's not about making the anxiety disappear forever.
That is the most profound point Nickel makes in the guide. We need to reframe what success looks like. Success isn't a child who never feels anxious. That child doesn't exist.
Right. Anxiety is a normal human emotion.
It is. It keeps us safe. Success is a child who feels anxious and goes anyway.
It's about building the muscle.
Resilience is a muscle. You only build it by using it. Every time they get through a hard morning, every time they manage that transition, they are banking evidence that says, I can handle uncertainty.
And that's a skill that will serve them way more in adulthood than just being happy all the time.
Exactly. We aren't just trying to get them through second grade. We're raising adults who know how to manage their internal worlds.
Before we wrap up, I want to address the parents listening directly. The guide has a letter at the end that acknowledges just how isolating this is.
It is incredibly isolating.
You feel like everyone else has these easy breezy kids who skip into school, and you are fighting a war every morning.
You feel judged. But the guide reminds us that if your child is falling apart with you, it's because you have done your job. You have created a safe base.
You're not doing it wrong. You are the safety net.
You are.
So if you're listening to this and you're already dreading tomorrow morning, just remember that middle path. Validate the feeling, hold the expectation.
And give yourself some grace. You're the external regulator for your child. If you're panicked, they will be panicked. So take a breath. You can do hard things too.
I want to leave the listeners with one final thought to chew on. Something that builds on that idea of the safe harbor.
Go for it.
We talked about how the meltdown at home is a sign of safety. Consider this. If your child is holding it together all day for the world and only falling apart for you, maybe we should stop trying to fix the meltdown immediately. Maybe we should look at that screaming, crying child and think, thank you for trusting me enough to show me the mess.
That is a powerful shift. Instead of resisting the mess, just witnessing it.
Yeah.
I am here. You are safe. Let it out.
It changes everything from a battle to a connection. Huge thanks to the team at Versayle-Digital for this guide. It really is a game changer for understanding the anxious brain.
It really helps you see the why behind the behavior.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.